Hello, this is Althrace. I'm playing Burnout Paradise here. This is going to be my first YouTube episode. I streamed a lot of this on Twitch, but I've decided that the quality on a racing game over there, my internet just can't handle it. It looks bad even maxing out my upload, which isn't great because internet provider doesn't care. And there's nothing better in my area. Fun times. Anyway, I've already recorded this episode once. Didn't have any audio at all. That was fantastic. So I'm trying again. Looks like I have audio this time. I'm actually paying attention. That helps. I'm playing this with a G27 racing wheel. I don't know if I mentioned that or not already. Probably did. It's connected to my PC. I've played this game before on the Xbox. Had everything. Maxed out all the races, platinum, whatever. Had a few of the online times at the time. That was many years ago. The game is very different to play with the racing wheel. I don't know how many of you have done the controller to racing wheel transition, if any. It's rough. I'm still not very good at it. Oh. I don't remember where a lot of those side routes go. It's just been so long since I've really played through this. A lot of the time that I was streaming this, I was just trying to learn how to use the wheel without crashing every 3 seconds. I'm about to 5 seconds now, so I'm doing alright. Let's see. In my first recording of this, I told a story that's very popular for me about catching a horse. So I'll tell it again real quick. Or not real quick, it's kind of a long story. So I'm at my aunt's farm thing. Not really a ranch, not really a farm, just a little plot of land where she had a couple horses. It was a young horse, 300-400 pounds, something like that. Not huge. Weighed a bit more than me though. And I was leading it out to field to play a little bit, get some energy out before it ate and everything. And I had it by the rope. I'm walking with it, no problem.
But this one gets you a special prize. A Carson Annihilator Phoenix has been dropped off for you at the junkyard.
And
High def, baby. It's the only way to play. Now, you gotta get your colors right, though, or the sheen on your pearlescent paint job just won't look right. Use the screen brightness option, or, just do what I do and pay a guy called Gordon to get it perfect for you. Atomica.
and it just reared up, decided I was a playmate or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what its deal was or why it did it, but I caught it. Just out of reaction, it came down on my shoulders. I threw it to the side, getting it off my shoulders as fast as possible, and I was very worried about hurting the horse at that point because I didn't know the positions of its legs or how far to the side I actually pushed it or anything. I just know that a horse came down on my shoulders. Not an everyday occurrence for me. and I didn't realize I was injured at that point either. But apparently the horse had kicked me in the back, in the head, in the chest. Everybody else saw it, of course. And so I've got 5 different renditions of what happened off to the side. And yeah, that was something. So I didn't realize I had any injuries. A couple hours later, my ankles had swollen to 3 or 4 times their normal size, and I couldn't walk. So I go and get in the car, tell everybody, hey, I can't walk. I need to go home. I need ice and I need to go home. So we get going and go to the hospital next day when my ankles are still pretty swollen. Not too big a deal. They take x-rays, do my head, chest, all that. They're more worried about a concussion because getting hit in the head by a horse is a thing. But they worry about those sorts of issues. And took a dozen x-rays or so. But the really funny part is the hospital lost my x-rays at that point. And yeah. Don't know how they lost them, but they did. And I forget all about them. The swelling goes down. I'm not in pain or anything. Not dead, so concussion wasn't too bad if there was one. Go about my life, right? 6 months later or so, I'm there at the hospital, and family and I remember, hey, what about those x-rays? And we get directed to x-ray tech there in the hospital, and he takes a look at them, says, there is something not right here, sends me over to a podiatrist. Well, it turns out that I had bone chips in my ankles that had exploded off of the large bone in the ankle when the horse came down on me. So there's that. Had surgery for it on my left ankle. Decided to wait on the right. So I do my surgery, do the recovery, 1 physical therapy appointment because I was headstrong and did therapy while in the cast still. Not something I recommend terribly, but if you can do it and not hurt yourself, I guess. Trying to focus a little while I burn the nitro. Okay, so I do all that, and this is in the 8th grade that this happens. Originally, before the surgery, actually, he had put me in a cast to see. I guess I actually caught the horse in 7th grade. By 8th grade, I had the cast, and so I was like, what, 13, 14, whatever 7th grader is. And he'd put me in a cast to try and get muscle to atrophy and stuff, try and reduce some of the lengthiness of tendons. Apparently I have a lot of long tendons. And that didn't work, so I did the surgery, right? Had double surgery, which was remove the bone chip and tie up some ligaments there, tendons. on the other side of my ankle. And I'm not really sure where point I'm at with this story anymore. Started racing too hard.
Survive the drive northeast to the Coast Guard HQ.
Okay, so I recovered from that. Okay, so then I'm okay for a while, talking to him about doing surgery on the right ankle. He decides to give me a cortisone shot. Just figure, hey, if you're in pain, we can fix it by doing this, and maybe you won't have to do surgery. The other bone chip's not too big a deal. You have 20, 30 years before you have to worry about it. If you can wait longer and do it as a small, like, ortho-type surgery or whatever, even better. Because maybe the body would absorb it, I think is what his idea was there. Anyway, that doesn't go as planned. Turns out that my ankle was very prone to turning, like your calf turning independent of your foot, which is not a good thing for kind of obvious reasons. I found out the extremely hard way, standing in class one day, stretching, in my biology class in 10th grade. I'm stretching, and suddenly I'm falling. And I hear these grotesque sucking, popping sounds. And that's all coming from my knee. My knee had actually become dislocated because of the twisting motion with all my weight coming down on it. And as I was falling, my knee popped back into place. And this caused, I'm not sure exactly if my kneecap was in the joint and was crushed, or if it was so far off to the side that straightening it ripped it apart. Either way, it was pulverized. I'm going to go ahead and hunt this car before I do another race, since I like to grab the cars when they come up. So it was pulverized, and they pinned it back together and stuff in an emergency surgery. But getting to that surgery was fun. So I go to the ER, right? Didn't know how bad it was. I just knew the knee was the size of a basketball. Had to cut it out of my pants. So cut my pants off my leg, basically. Got x-rays taken. They send me to minor injury. This was a time when the hospital that I go to, Kaiser, had a minor injury ward. They got rid of this ward for hopefully obvious reasons here in a moment. The doctor took my x-ray, called over 4 other doctors in the minor injury ward, and they didn't know what they were looking at. They had no point of reference for my knee. There was so much blood in the joint, as I had come to find out, that you couldn't actually see everything appropriately. There's no kneecap. The end of my femur was mauled, so it was misshapen. It just didn't look like a knee in the x-ray. So they sent me home. This was the response that they gave us. They said, well, we're going to wait for the swelling to go down, because they thought it was just tissue swelling from the injury. So a couple days go by, and it's getting numb for me. I don't actually feel pain at this point anymore from my knee, which was nice. Ooh, wrong button. Still learning this wheel. It's been a few hours, but still getting the hang of it. Did I lose him? No. But, aww. That sucks. But they sent me home, and no pain anymore. And at that point, my father says, this isn't right. And it's 10th grade, so I am 15, 16, something like that. And he takes me into doctor, emergency appointment, says he's seeing a doctor now, and we're going to figure this out. So doctor sits down, he looks at the x-ray from a few days ago, and says, well, it looks like there's blood on the knee, but I'm not sure. So he starts drawing off syringes of blood. 3 of those large syringes and 2 small syringes later, he says, that's the most blood I've ever pulled off a joint. You have to go in for surgery right now. Because there wasn't any stopping, it seemed like, of the blood coming out of the joint. He couldn't believe that I had gone that long with that sort of injury, the 3 days that I went before I saw him. So 5 minutes later, I'm prepped for surgery, and doctor comes in. He's family doctor type. He's done a lot of surgeries on my family. We're injury prone. And he talks to me for a minute, and I'm laying there half under anesthesia already. And he says, well, we don't know exactly where your kneecap is, but we'll find it when we go in there. Thanks, doc. What do you say to that? You're laying in surgery and the doctor says, oh, we don't know where part of your anatomy is. So that was comforting. They pinned it back together, did a pretty decent job of it. I was happy with it. Well, sorta. There's more story that goes with that, but it'll be the next episode. I'm gonna end this one once I grab this guy. If I grab this guy. If I wreck, then he gets away. We'll see. Oh, yes. Alright. So I guess I'll continue this story next episode. Not terribly too much for this portion that's left. I guess I'll go over my hospital stay, since that was fun and excitement too. Yeah. That was special. So hopefully... Oh, so I'm honest right off the bat, and everybody knows, I'm going to be recording these in like 1-hour sessions and do 20-minute episodes, more or less. Hopefully, depending on how picky my cats are going to be. And we'll call it good with this thing dropping in. Pretty. Got flames. Goes fast. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and we'll continue watching. Have a wonderful day.